Hello and welcome to the Southern View, coming to you live from outside the Vidhan Sauda in Bengaluru. Well, a cool breeze blowing in the city, but the political temperature soaring with a sharp exchange earlier in the day after the High Court of Karnataka raised a question: what next for Siddaramaiah? Well, the High Court dismissed a petition he had filed challenging the governor's orders allowing for prosecution against him in the Special Court of Elected Representatives. By dismissing that petition, the High Court has essentially paved the way for an investigation into Siddaramaiah in the multi-crore Muda scam, or the Mysore Urban Development Authority scam. A complex history for that alleged scam in terms of allotment of sites. We'll get you all the details, as well as the political exchange with Dhruv Jatti of the Congress joining me live from location. Also Dr. Lakshmi Ashwin of the BJP and B.S. Arun, senior journalist who's tracked Karnataka politics, its twists and turns over many decades. What this really means, not so much for the Congress but for Siddaramaiah, that's a crucial question. Remember, on the one hand you have the public statements, but there is an underlying complex political equation that plays out in Karnataka, often called adjustment politics. How that plays out too, we'll try to explore. But first, Pratibha Raman has the wrap of the day's developments, including details of what happened at the High Court and the political reactions thereafter. Let's listen into this report before we go further on this discussion.
There was no legal reprieve for Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah as the High Court upheld the state governor's decision to allow a probe to proceed against the chief minister in the alleged multi-crore Muda land allotment scam. Dismissing the petition of the chief minister challenging the governor's August 17th order, the court said, "There is no doubt that an investigation is needed against the CM. The applicant's family has benefited in this matter. The High Court orders that investigation against Siddaramaiah is necessary." The petitioners in the case hailed the order as a vindication of their stand, and the BJP demanded immediate resignation of the CM.
I am not going to make any political comments on this, because what happens to that? See, my point is to fight corruption. Politics is a different ball game. They will go to the Supreme Court and they will file against this order. We will be informed by the court and we will also approach. We will face it there.
आज राज्य के उच्च न्यायालय कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट आज के जजमेंट में क्लियरली बताया है, जो भी राज्यपाल ने निर्णय लिया है वो पूरा सही है। तो मुख्यमंत्री जी को इस जजमेंट को मानते हुए तुरंत इस्तीफा देना चाहिए।
A combative CM and the Congress, however, projected a united front while addressing the media, terming this a political conspiracy of the BJP.
I'm not afraid of the conspiracy hatched out by both BJP and JDS. After go through the judgment, I will discuss with the legal experts.
While CM Siddaramaiah, who has been priding himself for having no charges against him in 40 years, has been mulling legal recourse now, the question of morality comes in, with the opposition urging him to resign. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
But remember, there are legal implications and then there are political implications as far as this order is concerned, and how this entire controversy plays out in the coming weeks and months. Remember, this is a complex controversy. Dates back to 1999 1998 in fact, when that land was denotified. The crux of it is that land was taken which belonged to Siddaramaiah's wife by Muda for making of sites, which are residential sites, and compensation was given for that agricultural land at a different place. So core question here is, what was taken and what was given? Was there parity in the kind of compensation? Were there irregularities? Remember, the entire Muda way of working itself has come under the scanner after this scam came through. Before we get to the sharp political questions and the exchange on what next for Siddaramaiah and the implications of it, just to get clarity on the order today, I'm joined by V.S. Nappinai, senior advocate of the Supreme Court. Ma'am, just take us through the context of this order. It primarily declares the governor's decision to allow for prosecution or investigation into Siddaramaiah, it upholds that order and dismisses the Chief Minister's challenge. Give us, break this down for us from a legal point of view and the implications. I'm afraid we're not able to get across to V.S. Napina. If you heard my question, just break this order of the High Court of Karnataka down for us in layman's terms. Well, we can't get through to V.S. Napina. We'll try and explain that in a bit. Primarily what this order means is that it allows for an investigation into the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister had challenged the governor's order. Let me take the first response from Dhruv Jati. The BJP has said that because there is an investigation on moral grounds, the Chief Minister must resign. The Congress has put up a united front saying this is a political witch hunt. Does the impact of what happened today make Siddaramaiah's position politically weaker in Karnataka?
I will get to your question, but let me first explain the political conspiracy at hand. And I would like to explain this conspiracy at a stage-wise. Stage one, get an infamous activist who's fined by the Supreme Court earlier and who also has multiple challenges under him to file a private complaint. Stage two, get the appointed governor who you've appointed through the union government to pursue a sanction. And also, mind you, at the same time, the same governor rejects the sanctions that have been asked for against previous BJP ministers. Stage 3, if you look at judicial precedents, the court is usually upholding the governor's order because of the constitutional role that he has. And today we are at stage 4, where there is a media trial that is questioning the resignation of the chief minister at a particular point of time where the investigation itself hasn't been completed. I mean, this is quite absurd. And even if you look at the judgment today, the court itself has stated that the investigation has not yet taken place and the investigation should be proved. That's why they're speaking about 17A PC, and they have clearly stated that under the BNSS 218 that the sanction of the governor has been rejected. And let me remind you, this is the same political party at the Vidhan Sauda behind that has been unable to gain a majority since 2008. The same political party that has gone time and again misusing its powers in terms of tumbling governments by purchasing MLAs, by using Operation Kamala and using multiple methods to fall governments.
The core of the point as far as today is concerned, you're saying investigations have begun, nothing has been proven, we'll have to wait for it before any action to be taken. That's the argument the Congress has given, pointing out for the fact that there are cases against several BJP leaders who continue to occupy office.
Here it is shame on Mr. Siddaramaiah, that the so-called champion of the social justice, the so-called champion of the Dalit rights, so-called the champion of the Ahinda people, has directly involved, his family members are directly involved in this scam. He has been so much politically obdurate and recalcitrant, and that has been perfectly visible in the kind of administration he has undertaken from the past 1.5 years. It is a complete fiasco in the administration. He has come to the power promising for guarantees to the people of Karnataka, and he has failed to implement them. In addition to that, he has diverted 25,000 crores of the 25,000 crores of fund which has been allocated for SC/ST upliftment, that is used the same for implementing the guarantees.
Dr. Lakshmi Ashwin Gowda, let's answer the question. Crux question is, why demand for his resignation when only an investigation is underway, given that even when it came to the case of Yediyurappa, there was a long time before he resigned?
Yeah. Okay, let him resign first and face the investigation, and let him come out clean if he is. And we don't have any issue in that. There is observation that he is prima facie involved in the scam, and his family members are involved in the scam, and the scam is to the tune of 5,000 crores, and he has diverted the fund, he has misused the fund for himself and his family members that has been allocated for SC/ST people, and he is a Dalit leader. It's so absurd, it's so ridiculous. He's called himself as a leader of Dalit people and a protector of Dalit's rights, and he has scam.
No, so you're saying there is an accusation, he should resign as it's being probed, but B.S. Arun, I'm going to pose to you the same question that I posed to Dhruv Jati. We all know of the internal power dynamics in the Congress. Does this verdict, order today of the High Court, leave Siddaramaiah in a weaker political position, or do you expect the Congress to get united and rally behind him completely in the long haul?
Veera, I would like to look at this from different angles. Number one, legal. Legally, this is a setback for Siddaramaiah, no doubt about it. It might put him in a tight corner. Politically, is he a weaker person today? I don't think so. Politically, I feel, compared to yesterday, he's in a better position or a stronger position today, especially within the Congress. Because Congress has backed him fully from the beginning, and now also, the party is backing him fully. You have seen how D.K. Shivkumar, supposed to be the next in charge, has been backing him fully. Of course, he has no options, I feel. But then, politically, I feel Siddaramaiah has emerged stronger in this than what he was in the past. There are no, clamors of he should be removed, or within the party, some dissensions also. There is nothing like that. So, to that extent, I think Siddaramaiah is in a safer position now. But legally, the problems, I think, for Siddaramaiah might only increase. Because I heard that, there are other cases coming up during the week, especially tomorrow. I'm not very sure about it. But then the People's Representatives Court is going to give its verdict on the Siddaramaiah Krishna petition. We don't know what's going to happen. So we will have to wait for that. So one by one, I think these cases will entangle Siddaramaiah possibly. But then as the panelists pointed out, the investigation has to complete. Siddaramaiah might move a larger bench or the Supreme Court, so he can buy time.
Right. So there are several legal possibilities that could unfold at the moment, but I want to focus on the political aspect of it. As I mentioned at the start, there is one political reality when you come to Karnataka which is out in the open, which is statements left, right and center. For instance, the Congress is backing Siddaramaiah. Is that just public statements? Are there sections within the party? Aren't there, let me put it that way, sections within the party, and I'll put a counter question to the BJP as well, which are looking at a power change in Karnataka? Is the Congress much less confident of a single chief minister completing his term after this order? Is there a sense of inside nervousness and power play beginning behind the scenes beneath the public statements of support for the chief minister?
No, not at all. I think it's healthy that the Congress has multiple leaders who are chief ministerial aspirants, and it's normal for any political party that is as strong to have so many aspirants. And let's remember, we came with a thumping majority of 136 seats in Karnataka. Now, mind you, I'm sorry to say, but the Congress does not have a Yatnal or a Jarkioli who's sitting and hatching plots behind against its own party. We are a united front. Every single minister, MLA has backed the chief minister behind this particular time, and even the high command, for that matter of fact. We are standing strong behind the chief minister, and we are sure that justice is going to prevail, and we are not going to succumb to any media trial that is happening today. There is no investigation.
You're saying no media trial. Let me ask you this about the BJP. Often it's been pointed out about adjustment politics in Karnataka, where senior leaders of the Congress have a kind of understanding with senior leadership of the BJP. Is the BJP unanimous and united in demanding the resignation? While there are public statements, are there sections within which don't want to upset the apple cart in the Congress?
BJP as a whole has unanimously decided to take a resignation from Mr. Siddaramaiah, because ever since he has come to power, his government has been muddled with the conspiracies, muddled with the political slugfest, muddled with the scams and scandals. The major ones being the Valmiki Corporation scam, Muda scam, and also CST. He has a diverse amount which has been allocated for his CST. The major scams. It is his fiasco, and we have notified his fiasco in administration, and BJP as a whole has been consistently trying to dismantle his government, mainly because it is corruption ridden, it is non-accountable, it is not responsible. Ever since it has come, his law and order has been completely paralyzed. Don't you think it is paralyzed? There has been an increase in the number of communal violences, and he has not done anything about it. He has only been doing Muslim appeasement politics time and again.
So you argue there will be a counter rebuttal to that from the Congress. Let's stick to the issue at hand again, and I'm coming down to you, B.S. Arun. One of the big things about Siddaramaiah, in fact the reason why he was considered a leader of stature above all else in Karnataka in terms of his generation as well as the younger leadership of the Congress, is because he was the one untainted leader, some would say, in terms of that mass leader. The other competitor to him, Yediyurappa, had the taint of corruption since the late 2009. Does this case taint Siddaramaiah's image irreversibly, and hence has it dented his stature greatly within the Congress party?
Well, I won't say it has dented as of now, but then certainly it's sort of a setback for him, especially legally. But then he will have to answer many questions. That will be there. Siddaramaiah truly, for the last so many years, he maintained that as in the public life, he was an untitled fellow. He was pointing at Yediyurappa, for example, saying that he's the one who had come back from jail. Like that. Or take the case of any of the other politicians who have their FIRs registered against them. He would be pointing out at them. But then now, others can point finger at him. So to that extent, I think it will be difficult for him to explain his case. Although every day he says that there is nothing on the paper to show that he's involved in the case.
I also want to, one can't miss the timing of these developments. It comes as if it was orchestrated post the 2024 election results. So obviously there are political implications, there are internal dynamics, and I'll give the last word to all my on-location panelists on that count. But I believe we can go across to Nappinai. Ma'am, I was asking you at the start, just break down the High Court order, what it means both for the governor versus state government equation in terms of allowing for prosecution of a chief minister, and the legal ramifications of this very briefly to us.
I'll try my best not to get too technical on this. Very briefly, the first and foremost is the High Court says that a prima facie case is made out. Predominantly, the issue before the court was about whether the sanction that has, it's actually not a sanction, it's an approval under Section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act. And the issue before the court was whether this approval was legal and validly given and by following due process. The court goes into various issues and it discusses first about who can apply for this approval. Can a complainant apply or only the police can apply? And it says that the complainant also in this instance can apply. Then it goes on to see whether the governor has applied his mind. And in that application of mind, is he only required to go solely by the advice given by the Council of Ministers, or can he exercise his discretion? I would say this is one of the most critical issues that has been decided by the High Court, because it's really important to note that when you're talking about a prosecution against the primary, the CM of a state or persons related to him, the court goes into these issues about how there is bound to be a bias in terms of advice of the council, and this is a case where discretion was warranted. Therefore, it upholds the fact that the governor could exercise his discretion in deciding on whether to give this approval for continuing investigation or not in this aspect. The next issue that the court has decided is with respect to, so I won't go into all the details, but suffice it to say this, that we are actually talking about a stage of commencement of investigation. So when we say a prima facie case is made out, that doesn't mean somebody is already found guilty. It merely says that there is some basis for the complaint. There is no reason to throw the complaint out. And these are issues which are very critical, and therefore we have to go into this. I'd like to close with the last part of the order, which quotes Disraeli into saying that everything that all springs from the people, and therefore that should take primacy in a way that reflects the social contract theory, which says that the representatives of the people also draw their power only from the people and are therefore accountable and answerable to them.
Right. You're making an important point. It in many ways defines that the governor's power, and obviously given that it's a court of record which has said this, you will have this in several other cases where potentially the governor has the power to allow for prosecution of a chief minister irrespective of the advice of the cabinet. But we'll get to that legal aspects of it. Thanks very much for putting that in picture. Obviously, one of those judgments, one of those orders that will be quoted while defining the relationship between the Raj Bhavan, the contentious relationship between the Raj Bhavan and the state governments in multiple states. But coming back to the political fallout, and how it's playing out here in Karnataka. What's the next stage of action as far as the Congress is concerned, as far as the case is concerned? Obviously, the Chief Minister has his legal recourse, but politically, to combat this, is there a sense that the Chief Minister's image has been dented because of this controversy?
Not at all. I think apart from the media trial, there's no question of the Chief Minister's image being tainted because the investigation hasn't started yet. Like I had mentioned earlier, we're a united front. We're going to fight this. And this isn't just a fight for Karnataka, but it's a fight for India because this isn't just happening in our particular state. We've seen this happen in Maharashtra, Kerala, Delhi. It's a misuse of the governor's office across the entire country. Let me remind you, we have Maharashtra and Haryana elections coming up. And people who are watching this elections in both the states will show a humbling response to the BJP. Karnataka did it last year with 66 seats. People across India did it during the parliament elections.
Okay.
Let's wait and watch.
That's a combative Congress saying, let's wait and watch. Is the BJP all noise? Do you have a game plan as far as protests and action is concerned in Karnataka?
We don't have any other game plan other than taking resignation from Mr. Siddaramaiah.
But he's refusing to give it. The Congress is refusing to ask for it.
He has to take the moral ground because he has been accused in such a big scam in less than 2 years since he came to power. It is really shame on him. He should not be so much politically obdurate. He should accept and he should morally come out and give his resignation, tender his resignation, and then face the trial first, and then let him come out clean if at all if he is.
The question that will be raised is who has the moral high ground to demand moral propriety from any side. That's the sad truth of Indian politics. But B.S. Arun, my last question to you. We've seen this complex power equation, and I'll come back to you. Do you foresee, and I'll put this directly, do you foresee a midterm power change in Karnataka? Do you see that process being catalyzed by the cases that we've played out here? Because I'm asking you this because the timing of all this, post the 2024 election results, given that you had a jostling for cabinet posts in the state cabinet, you know that there's a power jostling that's happening for the chief minister's post. Do you envisage any such change here in Karnataka, or do you see status quo remaining?
As of now, I don't see any such thing. No, midterm poll especially, no. Change of chief minister, I think we will have to wait for that because the legal cases, I think, will continue. But apart from that, I would like to say that, there are interesting dates ahead. For Karnataka, as far as legal issues, political issues are concerned. From tomorrow, you can see in the election campaigns, the Prime Minister and other BJP leaders hammering out at Siddaramaiah and Congress for not respecting the judgment of the court. So that you can see, and how the Congress will respond to that in the election campaigns. That would be interesting to see also.
Right, interesting to see. Yes, the political noise, Karnataka, not a dull moment in Karnataka politics, even if you have a majority of the scale that the Congress has. So all intricate, interesting equations. We'll keep tracking all of them. But for the moment, the question, what next in Karnataka, remains open. We'll keep you updated on that. That's all we have time for on the show. Thanks to all my guests for joining here on location. We'll keep track of all the latest developments. Thanks for watching.